Welcome back to Say No to Lashon Hara, Day 11. This class has been sponsored anonymously, and like the entire project, is in the merit of a refuah shlema for Chana bat Simafega. The Chafetz Chaim continues by describing other sins that a person transgresses when they speak Lashon Hara. The Chafetz Chaim says that when a person speaks Lashon Hara, almost always you're speaking Lashon Hara because your opinion of yourself is higher than your opinion of that person. When you raise yourself up at that pedestal and you look down at someone and speak badly about them, that arrogance, says the Chafetz Chaim, is described in the pasuk. Hishamer lecha pen tishkach et Hashem elokecha. Be careful, you should not forget Hashem your God. When a person is arrogant, not only is it a sin, but the consequences of the arrogance are very, very severe. In fact, our rabbis tell us that a person who has ga'ava is despicable in the eyes of Hashem. Think about that. Hashem, who loves us, when we are arrogant, we become, so to speak, despised in his eyes. Not necessarily us, but our arrogant behavior. The Chafetz Chaim says, if a person not only through their arrogance looks down on this person and speaks badly about them, but actually feels better about it, raises their own stature and kavod by speaking badly about someone, that's even worse. That's called mitkabed biklon chavero, where the Gemara says about this person who gets kavod in the embarrassment of his friend. He makes a joke, making fun of the person, and everyone else thinks, oh, this guy is so funny, he's so amazing, look, he put him in his place. It raises your stature, your kavod. Says the Gemara, mitkabed beklon chavero, if someone raises himself, gets kavod in the embarrassment of another, en lo chelek leolam haba, he loses his portion in the world to come. Could you imagine all the hard work that we do to disappear just because we've raised ourselves up by standing on top of someone else that we've knocked down? The Chafetz Chaim continues, and he says there's yet another sin, besides for arrogance, that a person is over when they speak Lashon Hara. And he says that this mitzvah is actually the sole purpose of why Jewish people, and indeed the entire creation, is in the world. The pasuk says that we as Jews have an obligation to sanctify Hashem's name, to be mekadesh Shem Shamayim, to make a Kiddush Hashem. But conversely, we also have a terrible sin when we are michalel Shem Shamayim, when we do chillul Hashem. In the words of the pasuk, it says, "Velo techalelu et Shem kodeshi," do not desecrate my name. Says the Chafetz Chaim, when a person speaks Lashon Hara, that is a chillul Hashem. Now you may be thinking to yourself, how could that be? I spoke about my best friend. I spoke about the person down the block. I spoke about the person in shul. I spoke about my in-laws. And that's a chillul Hashem? That's chillul ha-in-laws. Chillul ha-shul guy. That's not chillul Hashem. The Chafetz Chaim explains, he says that the desire to speak Lashon Hara is not like when a person wants to eat a food that's not kosher. And it's not like a person who's succumbing to their desires. It's just that, you know what, Hashem said I can't do it, and you know what, I can't be bothered to listen to God's commandments. Rambam says that when a person is doing something only because Hashem said to do it, that's a Kiddush Hashem. And when a person is ignoring the mitzvah, even though he knows God said that he shouldn't do it, and it's only about the fact that he's ignoring the commandment, that's a chillul Hashem. Because it means that in my eyes, Hashem and his commandments are not important. Shema Yisrael. What a terrible, terrible thing that is. My friends, we see again and again this concept that Lashon Hara, as a snake, slithers around and wraps itself around so many different averot. How much easier would our lives be if we just held our tongues?